Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. I've been consuming raw eggs now for a very long time. I've consumed hundreds and hundreds of them, and it's amazing how much different raw eggs will make you feel in comparison to cooked eggs. So at this point, I don't even really eat cooked eggs anymore. The only eggs I'm consuming are 100% raw pastured eggs. So I'm not recommending that you do this. I'm just telling you what works for me and what continues to work for me and what continues to work for a lot of people. So I said it once and I'll say it again. I'm currently on a modified raw primal diet. I'm loosely following in the footsteps of Ancestral Vonderplanets. I'm not 100% raw. I'm still consuming some steamed sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, etc. I don't know if you guys have ever had the purple sweet potatoes. I think it might be a Thai sweet potato, but they're purple on the outside and white on the inside. They're absolutely delicious. And one thing that I've found is that it's really easy to eat a lot of raw food, raw animal products, if you mix it with cooked potatoes. So if you cook or steam a potato, an organic potato, and put a little bit of grass-fed butter on it and a tiny little bit of salt and pepper, it makes it a lot easier to eat more raw foods. You take a bite of the potato, and then you take a bite of your raw animal product, regardless of what it is. So whether that be liver, whether that be like a raw fat source, raw meat, you name it, raw salmon. So again, I'm not recommending that you do this. I'm just telling you what works for me and what continues to work for me. I'm at the point right now where I don't need the potato to eat the raw food, but I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy the taste of a cooked steamed potato. I'm not frying anything in oil. I'm cooking hardly anything at all. So, but I'm not 100% raw. I just wanted to state that. But right now, I can't even stomach the idea of cooked eggs. Raw eggs taste sweet if you really get over like the idea that they're gross. If you put one in your mouth and swish it around and break the yolk and break the amniotic sac, if you can get past that squeamishness that's so common for someone who's never done this before, and if you just breathe through your nose and relax, you'll start to, over time, develop a taste for raw eggs. They're much more delicious. They taste sweet. They're very creamy, and they make you feel really grounded. So I wouldn't recommend eating raw eggs that are conventional. You want to find a good quality source. You want to find someone who raises chickens and, produces good quality eggs, chickens that are fed really well, you name it. You can do this with, I do it with store-bought eggs. I try to buy eggs from people locally, not from the store, but I can't remember the name of the company. I'll put a picture on the screen right now, or a video of the store-bought eggs that I've been eating raw currently. They're the blue eggs. These are absolutely delicious. The yolks are really orange in comparison to the conventional eggs that are usually yellow. But again, I think that anyone who's interested in a raw primal diet, eating raw animal products, I think that raw eggs is a perfect place to start. I'm not, again, recommending that you do this. I'm just telling you what works for me and what continues to work for me. I place a disclaimer at the beginning of my videos for a reason. You got to use your own discernment and go from there. But usually, you guys, I'll just take 1 to 5, sometimes more raw eggs. I'll break them up into a nice chalice of sorts. I like to eat ritualistically. I'm not just going to put stuff in a normal cup or on a paper plate. I like to eat off of wood or glass, and I like to drink out of nice glasses, things that look like chalices or this, that, and the other. So I'll break 1 to 5, sometimes more raw eggs into my glass cup, and I'll bring one into my mouth at a time. I'll swish it around, break it apart, and swallow. Raw eggs make you feel very centered. They are filled full of fat-soluble vitamins. They have a healthy dose of cholesterol. They're filled full of protein. When you cook these eggs, it denatures the quality, and cooked eggs is how you start to, have horrible gas. Eating cooked eggs, especially if you mix it with carbohydrates, will make you smell like a bog. You'll stink. In fact, cooked eggs stink as well. But raw eggs, if you consume them on an empty stomach, you don't feel bad after you consume them, and you don't smell like a toxic waste dump. There's none of that sulfur smell involved. And again, if you can get over the squeamishness that is so common for people who have never eaten a raw egg before, if you cannot yak or throw up, if you can just put aside your taste bud programming, over time, you'll actually start to crave raw eggs. You'll actually start to enjoy the taste of them. So again, the protein content in raw eggs is phenomenal. The amino acids, the fats, you name it. When you cook them, it denatures them. I'm not saying you should never eat cooked eggs, but my God, take a couple of raw eggs and consume them raw, and then take a couple of cooked eggs. See how you feel. It feels completely different. So I've said it once and I'll say it again. I can go all day not needing food. If I do get a craving for food and I feel like I need something, like if I'm going to be working and doing a lot of manual labor and I don't want to eat a lot of food, I can take a couple tablespoons of honey, or I can take a few raw eggs down, and that will literally satiate me until the sun goes down. So right now I'm eating my meals around 10 o'clock at night. I'm fasting all day. And if I do get a craving during the day for something, again, raw eggs and honey, some raw dairy as well, and I'll have my schizandra and my herbs and a few other things. The raw animal products satiate you exponentially. You know, a lot of people try to intermittent fast, and it's a huge struggle for them because they're constantly hungry. They're constantly and actively pushing aside their instincts to eat. It shouldn't be that way. Intermittent fasting should be easy. It should not be difficult. And the only way intermittent fasting is going to be easy is if you can turn off your hunger mechanisms. And the only way you're going to turn off your hunger mechanisms is if you eat foods that your body was designed to consume on the regular, so that over time your nutritional reserves are built up enough so that when you are without food, your body's not constantly screaming at you to eat. You see, a lot of the vegans and plant-based people, when they intermittent fast, it's very difficult for them, and they end up yo-yoing back and forth between fasting and not fasting because there's so many anti-nutrients in the beans, and they're eating a lot of goitrogens, a lot of thyroid attacking foods, and foods that just we were never designed to eat this much plant material. So when you eat that, when you're fasting, say you broke your fast at night and then you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, it can be very difficult for people to go throughout the day neglecting food because of what they ate the night before. It didn't nourish you the way you needed to be nourished. The fats, the raw proteins, the raw amino acids that haven't been exposed to excessive heat, the raw animal products are going to feed you. At least this is my own experiential experience. They feed you in a way that cooked does not. Now again, I'm not completely against cooked food, but it satiates you very deeply. It gets to the point where it satiates you to such an extent where you don't even think about food, and that's really when you've won with the intermittent fasting game. Now, intermittent fasting allows you to not need to eat all the time, but the only time intermittent fasting is safe is when your body is receiving adequate nourishment. Trying to intermittent fast when you're starving and you're on a restriction diet, it can be dangerous because then your body starts pulling things out of its own reserves to compensate for your lack of nourishment. Hope that makes sense. So again, I eat cooked food, I eat raw food. Sometimes I eat more cooked food throughout the day, sometimes I eat more raw food. I'm not here to subscribe to any one particular way of eating, because I'm not going to get myself into a trap like I did in the past where, I subscribe with veganism, so therefore I can only eat vegan. No. Right now I'm just listening to my body, and right now my body thrives off of raw animal products, a raw primal style diet. I've loosely modified it, and I'm consuming some fruit, some vegetables, and some cooked food, especially cooked potatoes. But again, the raw eggs, folks, they are very nourishing, they are very grounding, they are very anti-anxiety. A lot of people's anxiety issues and their depression problems, at least in my opinion, they're directly coming from severe nutrient deficiencies. Severe nutrient deficiencies. When you start to get the real building blocks back into your system, the fats, the proper proteins, carbohydrates from non-processed sources, you start to rebuild the temple, so to speak, and you start to feel a lot better. You start to get your confidence back. You start liking the reflection that you see in the mirror. You start to feel better. It's a beautiful thing. This is how we were designed to be. So get out there and ground yourself like I'm doing now. Get some sun on your face and do what you need to do to feel better. There's no reason that you should feel like shit all the time. I mean, we've got to take our power back. And being riddled by anxiety and depression and worry, and I'm worried about my weight and all this other nonsense, this is New World Order bullshit. So, again, I'll intermittent fast, and my little meal that I'll have if I really need something is the raw eggs. And when I break my fast at night, I'll have some raw eggs with my meal as well, and some raw cheese. Beautiful. Maybe a little salad on the side with just some quality oils and some lemon juice, some lemon from the garden. Beautiful, simplistic, easy, intuitive, ancestral way of eating that nourishes the body, the soul, and the mind, and grounds you completely to the biosphere. We were designed to be able to live off the land, to not be, dependent on big agriculture and all this bullshit. So just a brief little video, you guys, just a check-in. I don't care if you think me eating raw eggs is gross. It really doesn't affect me, because let me tell you, the way I feel right now, I've got the house made of brick, so to speak. And when you're yapping in your house made of straw, you're just not going to affect me, because I'm building my body and my mind up from the ground up according to natural law. And that's just how it is. Peace be with you all. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, and your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported, and if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause, help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health-related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.